That's life. That's life.
First of all, tubs are always 60 inches long, 5 foot. So many houses I go to, they build what I call just an empty box. Sometimes those boxes are literally empty. Sometimes they hide ductwork, they hide plumbing, they hide other types of things that preclude me from bumping the shower out to get more room. In this case, they were smart. They actually used this empty box to fill it up. And I think this, in fact, I was told that the homeowner had built this, which is a pretty cool idea. They did a fairly good job at making these drawers, put them on sliders, so that you have, you know, room to put things in here, as well as shelves in here for towels and stuff like that. But they never finished out the walls. If you can see, this is green board with some type of bracing here for the shelves. And then up here, they just kind of scabbed in a piece of sheetrock on the ceiling, but never went past that. And I'm not really sure what's going on here, but and how I'm going to take it apart. There is a possibility I will take it apart, and the reason is this is a wood shelf. The whole thing is wood, which means this wall is wood. This is a piece of plywood that they stuck in here, and then they just put the tile onto the plywood. And I believe they probably used mastic on that tile to get it straight up to the wood, which means that tile is not going to come off of that without tearing up the plywood, which means if that happens, I've got to take out this whole closet section and make the shower longer, which is okay. A longer shower is always better, but I just hate to get rid of this usable space. And it's not really necessary. As I said, if I can chip off of these tile off of this plywood, I'll be okay, but I'm not anticipating that'll happen. In the meantime, they also built a little nook, for lack of a better term, because it's not quite a niche, it's very deep. It goes the whole depth of this shelving area. So these are shelves that weren't sloped. I can tell there's no slope to them, and in addition, it's part of this closet thing. So if I can't get the tile off, this will have to go as well. One of the other issues with a DIYer doing tile is they don't know the little things that matter. So you see a little closer look on this piece that was brought across here. They kind of tapered in some grout to kind of finish it off because they didn't plan ahead. You can't see, but I can feel there's a bunch of sloppy grout underneath, I guess, because they didn't feel like anybody would ever look under there. These are all, they're not flush. They're not flush at all. You know, huge lippage, huge gap, huge lippage all the way up. Huge right there. Look at that. You know, it's, look at this grout line in the corner. It goes down from 1/4 inch all the way up to about 3/4 of an inch on this grout line, including the corners. And this mosaic, it's hard to see. This mosaic was recessed in because they weren't aware that you had to bump it out in order to make it flush. So not huge issues other than themselves. It's just that, I mean, look at this slop in the corner. This always tells me that this is a DIY job. There's not a tiler out there, either starting out or years of experience, that would ever do work like this. Look at that, a huge gap. I mean, it's not even starting from huge to smaller, although it does a little bit. I mean, still down here, again, 1/4 inch, going up to 3/4 of an inch, almost an inch. And this is, it's slop. It's not the way tile is meant to be set, or at least, you know, to make it look pretty anyway. This tile was actually set straight to the wall with thin set. Very, very, very thin set on here. I don't know the makeup of this backer board. I think it's sheetrock. It might be wood, but wood in a shower, really? So I don't know. A lot of these bad jobs that I do, prior to me doing them, I like to show all the little issues that happen with regard to just poor workmanship. Whether it is a tiler that did it or a homeowner, these are just things that you should not have to deal with as a homeowner once the job is done with this type of slop. But it is what it is, and it's not going to be any more. Yes, there's 2 shower valves, And I don't know the reason for that. There's no reason for that actually, except that there is a handheld slider, which is what I call them. And these sliders are great, I like them. A little push button here, goes up and down, so you can set it at the height you want it. That is on this one, I believe, and then this bottom one is this shower head, and also I guess the tub. It's a very, very busy area. So what they should have done is put a diverter, so they could put a new shower valve here and then a diverter right above it or right below it or off to the side or whatever, so that when you turn the diverter, you know, all the diverter does is work in the same way as this does. This is a diverter. So either you have the tub or you pull up and divert that water to your shower head. And so the inline diverters are just a handle that goes left and right, or on this side left and right, and it just diverts water to either the shower head or the slider. And they didn't do that on here. I didn't know, I'm assuming they weren't smart enough to know that a diverter can be used, and so they just bought 2 shower fixtures. So that's kind of weird. That's the second time this year I've run into that where it just throws me for a loop. Why 2 shower fixtures? On videos that I did about 5 or 6 years ago, I used to really blast the choice of tile. And the reason is this, if you look on here, this is like clay. This is like a Georgia type clay material. And then they just glaze a surface. And when I blasted that type of tile years ago, people would say, well, you know, you should be able to work with any tile that any customer brings you, and that's not true. This is a really cheesy 60, 70, 80 cents a square foot type of tile. The makeup of it is not a huge issue, although I don't like the makeup of it. So imagine this tile being on your floor, right? And you drop something heavy and you chip the surface of that glaze. This is what you'll look at. You'll look at a speck of brown or a large area of brown, as opposed to most porcelain, which is the same color through and through. So it wouldn't be that big of a deal if you chip porcelain. Plus, porcelain is much more dense than this, what I call glazed clay. That's why I don't like this tile. Another reason I don't like this tile, if you notice, where's it at? If you notice right here, these 2 tile match up perfectly, like there's no lippage. These 2 tile right here are a perfect match. But if you come down to the same 2 tile at the bottom, look at that discrepancy. There's about an 1/8 of an inch discrepancy. This is shorter, this tile is shorter than that tile is. And so you say, well, you know, 1/8 of an inch, that's not a huge deal. Well, it is. Some of my spacing is 1/8 of an inch. So by the time you get to the second row, you know, you're struggling with your spacing because the spacers are correct, but the tile isn't. Here's another example. These 2 tile, I can slide my finger straight across and there's no lippage whatsoever. But look here at the bottom. So you got another 1/8 of an inch discrepancy. This tile is shorter than that tile. So yeah, it matters. It matters the type of tile you get.
Stomping on the green, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this is my